process, and also just to talk about what is expected of the presidential aspirants as they appear before IEBC, and of course also to look at this man Ruto and what lies ahead for him as he prepares himself for that 9th of August date when now Kenyans will be going to vote. Will he be the 5th president or will he not be the 5th president? That's a matter that we have to wait and see. And that is what we are doing here this morning. So once again, thank you for creating time for us on KBC Channel 1. We'll be linking up with my colleague Kamche Menza, who is pitching camp at the Bomas of Kenya, just to get a clearer picture of what is happening this particular morning. And as soon as the Deputy President arrives at the Bomas of Kenya, surely we'll cross over to that particular venue, just also to take you through what he will be doing as he's taken through the clearance process. But in studio, we're also going to be dissecting this whole process and talking about some of the issues that are emerging. I have a panel of 2 gentlemen. Allow me to bring them in to the conversation this morning. I'll start from the gentleman on my far right. Yes, that is Maina Karobia. He is a youth leader at the United Democratic Alliance and of course the national chairperson of Youth for Ruto. Also wears the title of a political strategist.
Yes.
Thank you so much for creating time for us. And of course on my far left we have Dr. Churchill Saoke. He's a lecturer at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology and also wears the hat of a political and governance expert.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for creating time for us. Of course, I always like beginning by just getting you a feel of your expectations for the activity of the day. And I'll start with you, Karobia. What is it that you're anticipating to happen, first of all, at the Bomas of Kenya, and later on in the conversation?
And his presidential candidate through the normal process they are taking even the other candidates. So I expect a fair process. Then from there, of course, there will be other principals who will be accompanying the deputy president. So I know this is not a process that he will be all alone. He will have other friends and also people who subscribe to his ideology. So you might expect there will be a lot of greetings, people catching up, long-time friends who have been maybe governors, trying to catch up with the commissions, commission officials. So I expect a very warm reception at Bomas.
All right, so yes. It's not going to be that very serious vetting and very...
Yes, and maybe...
expect a light kind of an environment.
Yeah, and maybe, I don't know whether IEBC can take this opportunity to maybe clear the air in regards to the issues that the Deputy President raised when he was meeting the European Union Diplomatic Corps. So maybe the IEBC should take this opportunity, clear the air, try to simplify the process to the political leaders, because this was the issue raised by the Kenya Kwanza fraternity. So I think IEBC should capitalize on this particular opportunity to clear the information that they may be having, because I've even seen Kenyans post on social media on how their vote has been transferred to areas that they might not have registered at. So maybe IEBC can take this opportunity to clear the air and also offer information that maybe the Kenya Kwanza fraternity might not be having.
All right.
Yes.
All right. All right, we are covering this live for you, and what you can see on your screens there, actually quite a number of leaders from the Kenya Kwanza Alliance have started arriving there. Deputy President William Ruto, his running mate Rigathi Gachagua, also among the top leaders of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, who are currently expected to be taken through the process of clearance of presidential aspirants by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Even as we take our viewers through that, Churchill, what is your expectation for the day, for the DP, and also just for the IEBC in general?
Thanks, Safin. I think this is a process, and the process of verification of candidates. It's not instantaneous. It's not an event that takes a short time. So I'm sure that the technical team, which is the technical team from from the Kenya Kwanza coalition must have already started gathering the information that is required, and they could be having already discussions with IEBC in terms of just looking at the documentations. So by the time that the Deputy President is coming, it's sort of the confirmation of some of these documents that have been presented. And so that's why you don't expect the process to last long when the moment he arrives. And the other issues is that, this is also a political event, and so you also expect certain political symbolism in terms of the personalities that are likely to come there, because it's a time and a moment for a politician, any politician, to show the optics, and the optics, so that the optics can have political capital for him. And so you expect the people who are going to accompany him to be the people who are going to support him. So any person who is not present there, it's most likely that he or she has shifted camp or something like that. So those are things that will be very keen to be watched in the process. Of course, the other issues, as Maina has said about the rallies, that's also important optics that is very significant in trying to rally people to show that, I'm into this, and people are supporting me. So you also expect a political rally or political rallies. Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit, but just to stay on that matter with you, Churchill, I mean, it's an important milestone in the electoral calendar for IEBC to do this particular exercise, but for the aspirants themselves, I'm sure this carries a much bigger meaning also this day, especially for DP and the aspirants. And we'll come back to you just to tell us why this is important for all the presidential aspirants. Let us just listen into what is happening at the Bomas of Kenya currently, then we come back and pick up on our conversation.
Waende nao huko wakienda chini.
Let's expedite that because the arrow is ready for the candidate. Thank you, please. And those of us who are now saying, let's go to the hole, because we are being waited in the hole.
I'm ready. Yes.
All right, so we will be doing that back and forth. That is Bomas of Kenya, where we are bringing you live pictures of the Deputy President William Ruto, accompanied by a cross-section of leaders from the Kenya Kwanza Alliance on this day when he's set to appear before the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Right now, he's actually walking through the hall that is going to take him to the main conference where the clearance process is going to take place. Earlier on, he was in the waiting bay where he was just taken through a brief introduction of what is expected of him and what is expected of the process to look like. So right now he's being, he's going to a different location at the conference, at the main hall, where they are going to now take him through the clearance process. He's going, of course, together with his team to present some of the requirements that was set by IEBC for any presidential aspirant to have so that they can be cleared for the presidential race. And of course, if he meets the threshold, is going to be cleared and is going to join the list of candidates now who are going to be vying. If he doesn't, then of course we'll just wait and see to see whether how IEBC is going to deal with that. But of course, that we will know before the end of this particular process. And in studio, we have just been talking about how important this is. Churchill, earlier I had thrown that question to you. Many may just see this as a normal procedure in the electoral calendar by IEBC, but for somebody who is vying for the top seat, what is this day like for them?
You know, this is a very significant day. It's a very significant opportunity for any politician or any presidential or gubernatorial or anyone who is vying, because it is like sealing the fate of a candidate. And sealing the fate of a candidate in terms of his credibility to get into a race, in this case presidential race, has got a lot of significance. One, in the sense that it gets into trying to look into your credibility and your capacity to be in the position that you are vying for. So if, for example, IEBC decides and says that, you know what, you are not fit for this position, then even ethically, it gets into the fact that, you know, you are not, there is some inadequacy that has been brought out in you. Two, politically, you know, these are people who have been campaigning for a long time. So they have been investing their resources, they have been investing so much, and people also have got a lot of vested interest in it. So that means that throughout that entire period of time, you might have just said that they started in 2006. So you're looking at that up to today, that huge investment. Therefore, it means that when you seal it within one day by saying that you are not fit, it means that that whole investment over that time has gone down into the grain. The other thing that is also why this makes this verification is very symbolic for the politician is the fact that, remember, this is a political competition, and being that it's a political competition, there are different. The equation is, there is an equation in this politics, so they are competitors. So if, for example, today IEBC decided that the deputy president is not fit for an election, that's like a free pass for the former prime minister. So
we still have other aspirants. Let's just be realistic. I don't know.
Well, I'm just being a good researcher and looking at it from.
I'm trying to be idealistic.
Well, it's a free pass for the other candidates then, because so that is how significant this is. And it is extremely significant that IEBC has got to get it right.
You know, as the national chair of Youth for Ruto, there must have been quite a number of efforts that were put in place to make this day a win for the DP and your team as the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. Just so to add on what Churchill has said on the significance of this day for the Deputy President and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance at large, what is it that was at stake to ensure that the Deputy President is on that ballot come the 9th of August?
You see, I actively participated in collection of the signatures. It was a huge, very rigorous process in terms of complying with the requirements of IEBC so that you are now cleared by IEBC. or you even get to a place whereby you can go and present your papers, because you have seen some presidential aspirants who actually wanted to be on the ballot, but IEBC actually told them, because you have not complied with some of the requirements, you will not actually get that opportunity to come and present your papers officially, like Dr. William Ruto is doing today. So it was a very thorough process in terms of complying with the requirements, and also there are so many ways that you have to prepare the people on the ground that indeed your candidature is credible, your candidature is actually real, because you remember there are some political actors that have been singing the song of that William Ruto will not be on the ballot in 2022 because of either natural things or other political machinations. So it took even some psychological investment, because when somebody blatantly comes out and says that you will not be a candidate, you don't know what this person or his associates are planning against you. So it takes a lot of psychological strength for you actually even to get to a point that you are going to present your presidential papers, or even gubernatorial papers. So it is a huge investment psychologically, economically, actually also, and also politically, because you also remember that there are people in Kenya Kwanza who came to Kenya Kwanza or joined the UDA fraternity in seeking this presidency, and they were harboring the presidential ambitions, the likes of Musalia Mudavadi, the likes of Governor Mutua, and so many other people who really wanted to be presidential aspirants. But it took a lot of convincing of the UDA party to convince people to join us and actually support our candidature. So it is a huge arithmetic of convincing people around you, and also even motivating your supporters that whatever your political opponent are saying that you will not be on the ballot is actually part of politics generally. So you have to do a lot of convincing, a lot of motivating your base, so that they can see you as a strong, credible, and a legitimate candidate. As my friend said, Churchill, that you can be singing praises that you'll be a presidential aspirant, you'll be an MCA aspirant, but if IEBC when you are submitting your nomination paper says no, then it means
let
you
me
are
just
done.
cut you short. I'll pick up from that. I just want our viewers also to know what's happening right now. You can see the Deputy President William Ruto there. Now the UDA presidential aspirant walking into the main hall at the Bomas of Kenya, accompanied there by his running mate Rigathi Gachagua, other leaders in the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, including ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi, Ford Kenya party leader Moses Wetangula, and of course Nairobi County senatorial aspirant Margaret Wanjiru, and other party officials including Veronica Maina, the UDA party officials. Let's just listen into what is happening at the Bomas of Kenya right now.
Welcome to the IEBC Presidential Candidate Registration Center. And this Saturday morning, we receive the 11th presidential aspirant, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and the presidential aspirant for UDA. Welcome, sir. You'll be taken through the presidential nomination registration process by the IEBC team. Thereafter, you will come before the presidential returning officer, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, who is also the IEBC chairperson. Welcome and most appreciated. We request all the other persons to be seated. We require a lot of order because the process is rigorous. Thank you very much. The media, please allow the IEBC registration officers to do their work. Thank you. Let's all remain silent. Let's all be seated, except for the presidential aspirant, the running mate, the supporters. The rest should be seated and quiet. Thank All right, so we are doing that for you. Of course, that is the Deputy President William Ruto, the UDA presidential aspirant, also representing the entire Kenya Kwanza Alliance in the August 9th presidential race. And right now, he's appearing before the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, taken through the process that all other aspirants in the presidential race are expected to go through. That's to present the requirements by the IEBC, and of course before they can get the green light now to officially kick off their process of wooing voters to be the next president. So of course we'll be taking you back and forth in studio and at the Bomas of Kenya to follow this whole process as the Deputy President moves from one section to another, talking to one agent to another, and of course presenting whatever requirements that he is asked to present from one station to another. It's something that is supposed to be taking a short time. So as he does that, we'll also be just looking at this whole process and what it means for him and what Kenyans also should be expecting going forward. In the studio, I've been having a sit down with Maina Karobia, a youth leader under the United Democratic Alliance. He's also a national chair of the Youth for Ruto 2022. And a political strategist, and Dr. Churchill Saoke, a lecturer at JKUAT and a political and governance expert. And of course, Churchill, just in the interest of basic knowledge, as we continue seeing those pictures there, this whole process, from your understanding, what does it entail as basic as you can put it for us?
So the process involves putting a face onto the candidature. So this means that you need to verify the legal identity of the candidate. You also need to identify the persons who are nominating this candidate. And this, because you see, for you to run for any position, any political position in Kenya, presidency being one of them, you need to be nominated by people, and there need to be people who are supporting you. So that's why we need those signatures, like the 48,000 signatures. Those who are now saying that, you know what, we are nominating you to be, we are supporting your candidature for the presidency. So, it involves those verification of those signatures, and the signatures being verified means that those signatures must have legal identity. The identity, that's why the copies of the identity cards are also necessary, and also the documentations from the party that is nominating you. So this is also the time that you also need to submit those the certificate of the nomination certificate from the political party to prove that if you are nominated by a party, then the party is a party that is legally recognized by the Register of Political Parties, and there are no contentions about it. So the verification is broad-based, ranging from the political party, ranging from your identity as a person, and ranging to issues around your political support base in terms of those who are nominating you, committing to nominate you legally for the position for your candidature.
Maina, there were quite a number of people who felt like raising 48,000 signatures was quite a tall order. Maybe because you're part of the process of the team that actually helped the DP in putting all this together. Take us through some of the challenges that probably are on the ground for aspirants to actually come up with 48 and more signatures, because you can come up with 48 and then some are rejected.
Yes.
So you need to surpass the limit.
Exactly.
How difficult or easy was this process?
The difficult is that a Kenyan, before he gives you the ID, because one of the requirements is that as much as you are filling the form, the IEBC nomination form that you have been given, you also need the copy of ID of the person who has signed. So Kenyans are still skeptical that they can't give you an official document to the level of ID because they don't know what you'll be doing, and with the copy. And I understand where their doubts can be coming from. The other thing is that Kenyans still think that if Maina Karobia goes to collect these signatures, they might be having some facilitation fee. So before they even sign, they will say that why is the facilitation fee for the signature?
For signing, yeah.
So our democracy is here to grow to the level of that I can support Churchill when he is vying for a certain political seat, and my signing to that sheet is based on my conviction that indeed this is a credible candidate, this is somebody who can take our country forward. So one of the challenges is that there is still that commercialization of our politics to the level of I can't nominate somebody to vie for a political seat without asking for facilitation fee. The other thing is about the logistics. You understand that you need to take signatures from, I think, 24 counties. Mm-hmm. So for you to collect signatures from all these counties, and based by the virtue of those commercialization challenges, it means that you have to move around the counties extensively so that you can convince people to take these signatures. So there is a lot of logistics also involved in terms of compliance with the 24 counties. But I must say that UDA, based on its structures, we have the county coordination teams. It was a seamless process. We were able to take signatures a record 3 days. And now the challenge was taking the signatures to the IEBC and complying with the process at that level of, because IEBC had other specifics in terms of how do you seal the signatures and how do you seal the documents as you submit to them. So you could see some presidential candidates being taken back and forth in terms of complying with the IEBC seal mechanism. So, but in terms of collection of signatures, I think we need to do a lot as a country. That I don't have to sign to somebody because I'm not convinced of his ideologies, or I don't have to sign so that I can be given some stipend or some facilitation fee.
Right.
Yes.
So as you tell us that, also the DP, as you can see there, has just moved to another section, and right now at this particular point, what is being done is to just identify whether he is the one, and there he has to present his national identity card, and of course his biometrics also have to be taken there just to confirm that he is the one who has presented himself to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission's agents there. So he'll be moving from one station to the next and presenting the requirements as they are needed. From one point, of course, he's going to be told to bring in some of his papers. Others at some stations, of course, like what you have just seen there. He's going to be, asked to identify himself, of course, the necessary documentation to ascertain whether he is the aspirant on record, and of course also other stations. Of course, that is where he's also going to be required to bring the backup of those who are nominating him, the political party, the list of supporters who have signed and also handed him the photocopies of their national identity cards, just so the IEBC officials can ascertain that he has the support of Kenyans. 48,000 signatures, and of course these signatures have to come from at least 24 counties, and we'll take you through that. But I'm curious, Churchill, with this number 24 for a presidential aspirant, why is this important? There has to be a reason why that threshold had to be put there. 48,000 signatures, and it's not just from one county, because you can go to your relatives and you get that, and your friends within the same location, but it has to come from cut across the nation. Why do you find this important for where you sit?
One, it's because of the, you're going to, as a president, you are the unifying figure. You are the symbol of unity of the country, and you are going to lead the whole of the population that is within the geography of the country. So it means that for you to be president, then you must then show that you have got people who believe in your ideology from at least a half of the country. And half of the country means that you have at least 50+1 support from the country. So that in essence, what the Constitution tried to show is that they tried to remove the whole concept of localizing your support base, maybe from the areas of your political jurisdiction, maybe within your ethnic community or within your region, so that you can be able to find ways of having influence and expanding your political thinking to other parts of the country. And this is extremely significant in trying to unify, trying to create a nation. And you as a presidential candidate, being a symbol of national unity.
There's one also emerging issue, and both of you can give me your feeling about this, that was raised even with Mwangi Wairia, who is one of the, should I say was or is, because there's still an issue back and forth about his clearance. One of the aspirants was querying what record IEBC is using to verify these signatures. His concern was we do not have like an official bank of signatures that IEBC will use to decide whether a signature is should be rejected or should be accepted. I don't know what your feeling about this is. Is his concern valid, and is that probably a lapse on the part of the Commission that probably should be rectified in future? What do you think? Let me start with you.
I think he is correct when he says that we don't have a specific verification mechanism that can verify whether this is an official signature of this person. But I must also be practical, because for me, even the signature that I use in a public space and the signature that I use privately are not the same signatures. So there is that understanding of Kenyans might be using different signatures in different to serve different purposes. The signature that I would use to sign an attendance sheet in a classroom is not the same signature I will use in a bank for a bank account or a bank check. So I think there's that diversity in terms of using signatures to serve different purposes. But I think IEBC should be a bit clear and should be a bit thorough in terms of these signatures. They should actually be, if phone numbers is one of the numbers that are being used in this nomination fee, I think they should at least try to verify to that level, to ask these persons by the phone numbers that have been provided, are you the person who signed for this person?
So they actually call all the 48,000?
Yes, they can call.
For all the aspirants?
Yes, they can call, or they can even call at least maybe a 10% of that list, so that they can verify that indeed this person signed for this presidential aspirant, so that we have credibility at that level, and we take even the presidential, not even the presidential, all candidates at whatever level, they can be taking the process of collecting signatures to be as serious as at that level.
We have the IEBC chair, Wafula Chebukati, there on your screens, waiting for the Deputy President, William Ruto, accompanied by his running mate, Rigathi Gachagua, to get to his section there for further clearance. Of course, he's still going through clearance by the other IEBC agents. So later we will, be also expecting that he is going to appear before the IEBC chairperson, Wafula Chebukati, and the Chief Registrar of Political Parties, and Ruto is also part of this particular delegation at the Bomas of Kenya, also just ensuring that this whole process is as clear, transparent, and objective as possible. So, Churchill, that same question. I mean, do we have an official data bank of signatures? And then if an aspirant presents 48,000 signatures and they're told out of those 5,000 are not, have been rejected, I mean, using which basis or against which documentation? What do you feel about that?
I think those are very valid questions that need a lot of reflections by not just even IEBC but various organs of government. And I think that today there are numerous technological advancements that has provided for us opportunity to even have much more secure ways of identifying people. For example, the biometrics, there are even those technologies that are able to identify an individual just through the eyes. You look at a technology and it can identify you. It has got unique identification features. So these are ways that you can be able to be employed into the country sustainably to ensure that you get some of these gray areas out, because the signatures and today and tomorrow will not be the best way to identify people, because you see, when you look at a backlog of a huge number of people who are voting, most of them are people who do not even necessarily know how to write. When you go into the rural communities, when you tell somebody to write a signature, he will do a signature today, and you tell him to do a signature, he'll do another one. He'll not even remember. But these unique features will always remain irrespective of how literate or where you are or age or something like that. So I think there is need for institutions to move with technology and find mechanisms of coming with the ways in which you can uniquely identify people, and also ways in which you can protect this data. Because as Maina said, and that is true, because you see, one of the first things that I will question when you want to ask me for my ID is, what are you going to use this ID for? And that is a very genuine question, because people have used, there have been thieves who have used people's identities to do very, very malice things. And so it is very genuine for people to fear and so to protect their legal identities. So these agencies and IEBC must be very deliberate in finding mechanisms of identifying people and deploying these mechanisms even down at the political party levels. Yes.
All right, so we have there Ford Kenya Party leader Moses Wetangula, the National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi, and the former Majority Leader Aden Duale there as part of the team of leaders from the Kenya Alliance who have accompanied the DP, and also ANC Party leader Musalia Mudavadi. They're just making sure that they're standing together with their presidential candidate under the Kenya Kwanza Alliance as he goes through the clearance by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. So this process had begun earlier, and the Deputy President is currently going through, from one IEBC agent to another who are located in different locations. Of course, every stage there's a different requirement there, and so far seems to be so good, but we'll know the final verdict at the tail end of it there. And we've seen there the IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati also just on standby at one of the sections there, waiting also to interact with the Deputy President this particular morning. So We'll stay on Bomas of Kenya for you, so you can also just be part of this particular process. But in studio, we're also just dissecting this entire journey that quite a number of aspirants have been taken through. Today, it's the Deputy President William Ruto. Tomorrow, IEBC also is expected to be taking the Azimio la Umoja presidential flag bearer Raila Odinga through the same process. Of course, others also slated for different days. On Monday, 3 other aspirants are slated to be taken through this particular process, including Safina Party presidential aspirant Jimmy Wanjigi. But today it's the DP's day, and he has quite a busy day ahead. And at this point, maybe Karobia, you can tell us, this is significant in different ways.
Yes.
And Churchill also told us this earlier.
Yes.
Part of it is actually to go through this clearance.
Yes.
But there's that political significance that it comes with. And I know as Kenya Kwanza, there is a way our team is planning to take advantage of this day. What is it that is expected in the day?
One thing, I want to begin it from Bomas. The people who will propose and second the Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto, as he seeks the presidential candidate, are ordinary hustlers. I think there will be a Mama Mboga and a Boda Boda rider who will be doing the seconding and the proposing. So to that level, we are capturing the hustler spirit in our political journey. The other thing is that the journey towards hope, towards economic revival, the journey towards political stability in our country begins today, as envisaged by William Samoei Ruto during his presidency. I think today is the day that the political campaigns are going to begin as per his schedule.
They're going to begin today? They hadn't started already?
As per his schedule. I understand that he has already made a statement that going forward we are going to witness political campaigns that have never been seen before. So we expect high-octane political activities from the Kenya Kwanza fraternity and also from the UDA party. So what we expect is that the hustler spirit is going to now rise all over again compared to the last maybe 3 months that we have seen. You might see that now we are going to have the engagement, robust engagement with the people. Remember that DP William Samoei Ruto has been doing the economic forums. In the next few days, you are going to see him signing the charter that have been developed out of the economic forums that he has had with in various counties. So we are going to find a political campaign that will be tied to the economic issues that we have been having in our nation. We are going to find a political campaign that is going to offer solutions from the hustler perspective, now offering solutions towards the economic challenges that we have been having. And this is the campaign platform that William Ruto has been offering, that we need to have a conversation, a political conversation that is majorly dominated by the economic challenges that we have been having and dominated by the economic solutions that various candidates are going to offer Kenyans, right from the MCA level up to the presidential level. Yes. All
right, just what you're talking about earlier, we are seeing also, I believe these are part of the people who are going to second him, Mama Mboga there and Boda Boda person.
Yes, yes.
Also just part of that, also they're interacting with the IEBC officials there. Yes. Maybe this could be part of, their details being taken also just to put it on record that these are the people that came to actually on record support the DP's State House bid. As Karobia said earlier, you chose to go the hustler direction. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Our campaign platform is based on the ordinary person. It is based on the people at the bottom of the economic pyramid. So it would only be right that the seconders and the proposers are people at the bottom of our economic pyramid. Remember also, our campaign platform is based on building an equitable and inclusive economy. That's what basically the bottom-up economic model is all about. Investing at the bottom, investing at the people who own micro and small medium enterprises. That's where our campaign, that's where our people. That's where we consider our base to be. And that's why you find the seconders and the proposers and majority of our political supporters, they come from that specific economic status. So it would only be right that we involve those people, even in terms of crediting and in terms of even seconding and proposing our candidature at the IEBC level. Yes.
All right. I'm coming to Churchill shortly, but you cited something relevant about the campaigns by the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, and this is the economic forums that we saw happening across the country, different leaders. There was Rigathi Gachagua who went to the Rift Valley region.
Yeah.
Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi went to the Western region.
Yes.
The Deputy President was in the Coastal region, and even here in Nairobi he has held quite a number of such meetings. There must have been something that cuts across, that stands out, that Kenyans share in common as part of what they want included in the final charter.
Yes.
What are some of the key areas, priority areas for the Kenya Kwanza in the economic agenda?
I've been privileged to attend some of those economic discussions. Next week we'll be going to Wajir, the northeastern part of our country. And one of the issues that I realized is that there is a double taxing. You have to there are a lot of compliance in documents. For instance, if I have a business, I have to comply with the county government. I also have to comply with some other institutions that have been set by the national government. So what came out majorly from this discussion is that we need to have a one-stop center or one document that creates the compliances of all these institutions, the NEMA, the county government, and other relevant institutions, so that you are not double licensed from various institutions. The other thing is that if I want to move goods from county A to county B and to county C, from county A to county C, it means that I will pay the cess in county A, in county B, and when I get to county C. So there is that integration that Kenyans want, whereby people want an integrated way of paying revenue, so that you don't have to pay revenue in all these counties. We understand that each and every county has its own financial system, but Kenyans are asking whether we can have a way of having an integrated way of paying this revenue. The other thing is about removing the police force from the management of our economy, whereby you find the police are being used as instrument of getting to our businesses as a compliancing agency by the government. So we want to remove the police from management of our economy and making them to be enablers of the economy. Like, I can feel safe when I see a policeman. I don't see him from the point of him coming to my business to ask for certain compliances. I see him from the perspective of him protecting my business. The other thing is all about the credit card. There's the issue of Shylock and the venture capitalist. In the Western world, they are called capital venturalists, but in our country, they are called Shylocks. There is a lot of, these people are they give you credit or they give you a certain amount of money to start your business, but the mechanisms of you paying is the double amount of what you have paid, whereby I give you 100,000 to buy a motorcycle, and I expect you to give me 200,000. That is almost 100,000 interest rate. So the Kenyan or the people that we were interacting with in the economic forums, they were saying that we need to have a government-led circle where people can go and ask for money, and the only security or collateral that people expect from you is how credible are you in terms of paying these loans or credit that the government circle is giving you. So Kenyans are asking whether we can have a government-led circle or a government-led bank that can be giving easy and practical loans or credits to these small and medium enterprises.
All right.
Yes.
You'll take us through more of what is in store for Kenyans if Kenya Kwanza wins the election under Deputy President William Ruto's administration. But right now, the process so far so good, and the DP has just being taken through the process of his academic documents being checked and vetted. Of course, he's in the company of quite a number of leaders from the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, but also key among them are two individuals who, according to the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, are crucial in this particular campaign. We have a representation of the vulnerable in the society, those who are called, according to the Kenya Kwanza hustlers, a mama mboga there and a motorcyclist, a boda rider, who are going to be part of those who are going to propose and second the candidature of Deputy President William Ruto in his bid to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta. And we're just going to take you back and forth at the Bomas of Kenya and in studio, just to also follow this entire process from when it began to the tail end of it, when the DP is going to submit all that is required by IEBC. Leading the whole process is the IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, who is also there at the Bomas of Kenya. But of course, just to come to you, Churchill, we're talking about issues shaping the politics of 2022. You've heard from Karobia the economic agenda that the Kenya Kwanza Alliance has for the country. Does it convince you? You know, as a Kenyan first and as a political analyst, what do you think is pivotal for Kenyans? What as the issues that should form this particular election?
I think that when you look at Kenya, where we are now, we've moved from a point where the clamor for power was about opening of the political space to points where the country wants to move into medium and medium-sized economy that is driven by industrialization, is driven by companies that are able to produce. And so that's why there's a lot of discussions around the economic economic liberalization and economic liberation, which is very important. Now, as to how the political players bring out these issues, it depends on you know, how they believe in it and how they think that the people will accept it. For example, Kenya Kwanza, they believe that you know, when we bring this from the perspective of the bottom up, which is trying to empower the young people. I mean, not really the young people, but the people at the bottom, with the aim of building a strong base of economics from the low level, so that they can be able to use it to grow the national economy. And the other, their opponents, when you look at also the Azimio as well, they also are speaking sort of the same language. It's sort of same language, different what I would call different terminologies. Okay, but for me, I think from where I sit as an expert on governance, is that the country needs to move into economic liberation, where people are involved into the economic development. The issue is, are we really ready, and are the political players really ready for what they're talking about? And do they know what it really takes to do some of these things? Because you see, when you want to engage the people into economics,
all right. Sorry to cut you short. Just taking our viewers through what's happening right now. The DP is currently meeting the IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati. They are accompanied by a team of leaders from the Kenya Kwanza Alliance and also officials of the United Democratic Alliance Party. We see there the Mama Mboga and the Boda person there also sitting in front of the IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, as they wait now to be taken through part of the process of clearing him on the road to the 2022 presidential race. Of course, he has already gone through several stations. His identity has been confirmed, the biometrics taken, his academic papers also checked, and of course also part of the requirements was that he submits 48,000 signatures of supporters from across at least 24 counties, and of course also this should be accompanied by photocopies of the national identity cards, and that also was something that he was earlier taken through to submit and verify whether he has all of them. I believe we should be knowing a bit later whether he met the threshold on that, but the process is not yet complete. Right now he is appearing before the IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati and other IEBC officials, so that we can know what next after this, what will happen, and will he be cleared now to be part of the list of those who are going to be vying for the country's top seat. This is a matter of wait and see. Of course, we should be knowing this information as soon as he finishes the entire process. And I believe also the DP is going to take time also to address his supporters at this particular forum before he kickstarts his busy day, the schedule that he has to traverse different parts of Nairobi for the political rallies by the Kenya Kwanza team. So, Karobia, at this juncture, you know, the DP is just, almost finishing this whole process. Yes. What do you think, is the feeling and the mood right there? No. Okay, I understand. Let's listen into what is happening at Bomas first, and then we'll come back to you, just so you can tell us more about some of the things that you think are going on right now in the mind of the DP and also part of the leaders who are there. Yes. Let's listen into what is happening at the Bomas of Kenya.
Registration, and before that I would like you to look at the sample ballot paper like which you have used, confirm the names, your names and the running name, and sign against
Questions, please.
Mr. Chairman, and Wafula Chebukati, and the returning officer for the presidential election this year, 2022, members of the commission, my friends and distinguished colleagues in UDA and the Kenya Kwanza fraternity, dear Kenyans, I am delighted this morning to receive the certificate that will allow Kenya Kwanza
this year's general election. Mr. Chairman, and returning officer, I want to say in this podium that Kenya Kwanza has confidence in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. That you are up to the task. I also want to commit that my team in Kenya Kwanza and I will work with you diligently so that we can have a credible, free, fair, democratic, and verifiable election. Anytime you need our cooperation or in any way our support, Mr. Chairman, I want to tell you we are available. I have appointed responsible, professional ladies and gentlemen to be our liaison between Kenya Kwanza and IEBC. Professor Kithure Kindiki, who is here, assisted by Veronica Maina, Josephat Nanok. These are ladies and gentlemen who will work with you, making sure that the communication, the relationship between us as candidates and the IEBC is useful, is helpful in making sure that we run the length and breadth of this election without hitches. We are looking forward to working with you. I want to ask all our supporters across the country that this is a moment of our lifetime and we must do everything to protect it from violence, from unnecessary sideshows. We must keep our eyes on the ball and avoid unnecessary engagements and being sidetracked or being engaged in unnecessary shouting matches and contests that are outside the focus of the election that we are focused in. I want to ask all our Kenya Kwanza supporters, the UDA supporters, and all our affiliates in Kenya Kwanza to focus on the imminent win that God will grant us in this election. Mr. Chairman, we are committed to the code of conduct that we have signed to keep this election above board. We are confident in your stewardship and that of IEBC in the elections of 2022. Let me also finally say, Mr. Chairman, we will, as and when we come across issues, we will forward them to you in a formal manner so that we can address any issue that may come along the way as we go to this election. And let me also say that we do not want to be favored. We want to be treated fairly. We are not asking for what is more than is fair and that is a right to us. Respectfully, we want to request our friends in the fourth estate, the media, we want to request them to be fair. So far, we have been treated unfairly by some media houses. We respect the decision of whatever media house to have a candidate in this election. We respect their decision, but they should be decent and declare that they have a candidate in this election. The most decent thing to do. We have raised these concerns, and through you, Mr. Chairman, we want to raise these concerns. The IEBC has a duty to make sure that there is a level playing ground for all participants in these elections. All candidates should be treated fairly. When some media houses, like for example Citizen, they give 10 minutes of airtime and they give us 1 minute. When it flies in the face of integrity and fairness and balance. When Daily Nation and Inoro and Kameme do whatever it is they are doing, we have no problem with them taking whatever position they take, but they should be honorable and say, in this election, they have chosen a side, so that as Kenyans watch their news, as citizens read their headlines, and as Kenyans listen to their issues, they should be informed that these are media houses that have taken sides. Let me repeat again, we have absolutely no problem with them taking any side. They told us that this is a podium, or this is a platform that is supposed to assist the people of Kenya to understand the candidates and their issues and their ideas, and so that Kenyans can choose on the basis of information and knowledge. But to be fair, if the presidential debate is being organized by a media that has taken sides, by people who already have skewed the playing field in favor of one side, what moral authority do they have who are not their candidates to attend a pre-arranged, pre-rigged presidential debate? I mean, surely, ladies and gentlemen, it's not too much to ask. We're just asking for fairness. If you have decided to choose a side, organize a presidential debate for that side. Expect us to come and sanitize a debate that you have already skewed with the coverage of your news. I think we're just asking to be treated fairly. And we have absolutely no problem with whatever you do. We already have to surmount huge challenges. We already have the so-called deep state. We already have the so-called system. We don't mind any other hurdles. We overcome those. Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Finally, let me again repeat that as Kenya Panza, we are going deep into this election with a lot of clarity, and we will work with all Kenyans. And I want to ask the people of Kenya to participate in this election, whichever side you are. Know that this is our country. It is our responsibility to keep it safe, to keep it peaceful, all of us, irrespective of who you want to vote for or irrespective of which side you belong. Thank you very much.
To say that, as you rightly point out, you have now signed the Electoral Code of Conduct, and the party has also ascribed to the same. Now, the Electoral Code of Conduct places responsibility on the candidates and the parties to conduct themselves with the decorum as you go on with your campaigns. There are penalties for failure to observe the Electoral Code of Conduct. And we also expect, it also clearly says that candidates must acknowledge the authority of the Commission in the conduct of elections. That is clearly spelled out in the Electoral Code of Conduct. And also candidates should implement orders and directions of the Commission and publicly condemn violence and intimidation and avoid use of hate speech. So as you go out to campaign, and this is for all candidates, please observe the Code of Conduct, ensure that the statements you make don't cause violence, not likely to cause hatred among the citizens, or any kind of action that may lead to violence. From time to time, you have said you have a team that will be working with our team. But from time to time, as a returning officer, I require candidates to attend 1 or 2 meetings personally. Yes, so when I call for a meeting, please ensure you come, because it's for the good of the preparation of the elections. Otherwise, I wish you well, and my team, and as you rightly pointed out, we are committed. We keep an open door policy. If there is we want to see in the media that IEBC is not doing this and this, we want you engage us, and then we shall respond. Otherwise, all the best of luck as you go around.
That is His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, who came in as a presidential aspirant and he lives as a presidential candidate for 2022 under United Democratic Alliance Party. So far we have had 11 presidential aspirants appearing before the presidential returning officer, and out of the 11 presidential aspirants, we have had 7 belonging to 7 of them are independent aspirants, and 4 of them belonging to out of the 11 aspirants, out of the 11 presidential aspirants, we have had 4 clear so far. Thank you very much, His Excellency, and we wish you all the best. We request the media to have the interview outside the auditorium. Alicia, you are allowed to have the interviews outside the auditorium. Thank you very much.
All right, so there you have it. Must be such a happy moment for the Deputy President William Ruto, who has just received his clearance certificate to be the presidential aspirant under the United Democratic Alliance Party, also being backed by the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. He's now the presidential aspirant. He is now officially a candidate, from an aspirant to a candidate, in the August polls. And of course, there speaking earlier was the deputy president who expressed the confidence of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, saying that as Kenya Kwanza, the entire Kenya Kwanza team, they are committed to cooperate with IEBC, and the DP saying that they have tasked a team of professionals to link up IEBC and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. That includes Professor Kithure Kindiki and Veronica Maina. And of course, calling on the supporters of the alliance across the country to avoid violence and political sideshows as part of their efforts to safeguard this particular moment, a moment that he has just been cleared. But of course, it's quite a happy moment there, the Bomas of Kenya, as the deputy president, accompanied by quite a number of leaders from the Kenya Kwanza Alliance and supporters of that particular alliance, are happy they're celebrating his clearance. He has just received officially the certificate from the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Now this paves way for him now to hit the ground running officially, to kickstart campaigns to woo voters across the country to back his 2022 presidential bid. But you can see the mood there, a celebratory mood from Kenya Kwanza leaders and the deputy president. Remember, he is now officially the presidential candidate for the United Democratic Alliance Party. They are greeting leaders who had accompanied him for this particular process, shaking their hands as they take time to exchange a few moments of congratulating him for going through this process. Only him and other presidential aspirants who have been going through this particular process know how hectic and how tedious it is to come up with all the requirements by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. So this must be such a relief for him as he now graduates to be officially a candidate in the 2022 presidential race. Of course, he has a busy day ahead that will see him traverse different parts of Nairobi to address residents as he continues to woo voters. Yesterday also, he was leading quite a number of campaign rallies in Nairobi, in Kamulu, Ruai, Utawala, and of course just, putting his best foot forward to defend his position on why he is the best candidate to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta. So it is a day that you're also going to be covering that for you, and you can be sure that you'll catch what has been happening. But just to take you through what Wafula Chebukati, the chair of IEBC, who is the National Returning Officer, also said. I just read the Electoral Code of Conduct to the Deputy President and, sort of emphasize the need for him as a candidate now to observe the provisions of the Electoral Code of Conduct. I want just to cross over back to the Bomas of Kenya to listen into more of what is happening. The DP is currently addressing the gathering. Let's listen into what he's saying.
The first step towards 9th August 2022, when the people of Kenya will decide about their future, and we have a date with destiny on 9th of August to change the political foundation of our nation, so that henceforth it shall be not about leaders but about the people, not about matters, interests, positions and sharing of power by leaders, but about the people of Kenya, their aspirations, their wishes, their dreams, and how the political architecture of our country will deliver for the millions of young people who today do not have jobs. They have certificates, diplomas, and degrees, but opportunities for them to work and do business are limited. This is the journey we are beginning. And we want to promise and to tell the young people of our nation that whatever it takes, whatever it costs, the discussion about creating jobs is a discussion whose time has come, and in this election, it is going to be decision time. And we want to tell the young people of the Republic of Kenya that they have a chance to be their best. As I have said, we have informed the IEBC that we have confidence in what they do. We have discussed with them, even on the matter that we raised, that was already in the public domain, that about 800,000 voters had been moved this way and that way. The IEBC, when we wrote to them, they have confirmed to us that they are seized of the matter and that they will sort it out, and we have confidence that they will sort it out. We want to ask IEBC to be vigilant. There are desperate people who have been telling whoever cares to listen to them that since they have no plan and no agenda, that the only thing that is left for them is to try and manipulate this election. We are telling them that they will have no chance because we are vigilant, and we will make sure that every vote is counted so that the decision of the people of Kenya can be realized on the 9th of August this year.
You've described this as a moment of your lifetime. Why so?
This is a moment of a lifetime for many Kenyans. As you are aware, our economy is in dire straits. Kenyans can hardly afford a meal. The price of basic commodities has gone up. The price of bunga has gone up. The price of petrol has gone up. The price of cooking oil has gone up, including for the first time, the price of salt has gone up. And the cost of living in Kenya is unbearable. Yeah. And millions of Kenyans today are asking themselves what happened. I want to say for the record that we had a solid plan to build on what we had done in our first term. We had a solid plan in the Big Four agenda. Housing and manufacturing was supposed to deliver for us millions of jobs. Transformation of agriculture and food security and nutrition was supposed to sort for us out the cost of farm inputs and to make sure that farmers are enabled to enhance their productivity so that more food can be produced, and using the forces of supply and demand, we would get cheaper food in our stores. Unfortunately, that was not to happen because the handshake debacle denied the people of Kenya the chance to move their country forward. And that is the opportunity Kenya Kwanza wants to seize and decisively, deliberately work on creating millions of jobs and work on producing enough food so that we can reduce the cost of living, we can create millions of jobs for our young people, and we can transform our country. And for the record, Kenya Kwanza will not continue the borrowing spree that we have seen that has ballooned our debt. In the last 5 years alone, close to 7 trillion Kenya shillings has been borrowed. I want to tell the people of Kenya, Kenya Kwanza will focus more on investments, more on labor-intensive infrastructure, not capital-intensive infrastructure that we have seen over the last 5 years. Capital-intensive infrastructure benefits few people, but labor-intensive investment in infrastructure like housing, manufacturing, agro-processing, value addition, not only creates opportunities for millions of people to work and get jobs, but it also ensures that more and more Kenyans have money in their pockets.
Excellency, sir.
And reduce insecurity and reduce poverty in our country. So that's the future that Kenya Kwanza believes in. And as you see, the team we have here, from the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, the Honorable Amason Kingi here, the Honorable Mutua Alfred from Machakos, the Honorable Moses Wetangula, the Honorable Aden Duale is here, and the millions. Alice Wahome is here, Jane Kiara is here, Haika Mizigi is here, an array of Kenyans with a passion to change and transform their country.
Excellency.
Not to forget Pauline, the great woman from Kiambu Market in Kangangi, where I met her in one of our economic forums discussing the economy of every county. The great friend Calvin Ochieng, who runs his small hustle around Kilimani and constantly gives us support in the UDA office whenever we need somebody to transport something. Great Kenyans with a passion. People who are looking for an opportunity to be their best. That is the future that we have for our nation.
Excellency, are you from KT? You have mentioned people, and I just want clarity as to who are these people who are hell-bent on manipulating the electoral process.
You know them as much as I do.
Yes.
The last time you were here, a time like this 5 years ago, you were escorting your boss. Yes. Today your boss is not here with you. What is your message to him? Because I understand you had a pact that you would do 10 years and you would...
I think that's a question you need to ask my boss.
Absolutely.
He's an adult, and he has the right to make choices, the same way I also do have the right to make choices. Thank you very much, good people.
Thank you, sir.
We love you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so that is Deputy President William Ruto, the United Democratic Alliance presidential candidate who has just been cleared by IEBC, addressing members of the Fourth Estate just moments after he has officially received that clearance certificate to vie for the country's presidency in the August polls, taking advantage of the opportunity to, talk about what his mission for the country is. And of course, just talking about some of the key issues that as Kenya Kwanza Alliance, they are passionate about, including taming the public debt, elevating the vulnerable in the society through the bottom-up economic model, talking about his plan to invest in labor-intensive infrastructure as part of his efforts to create more job opportunities for the youth, and of course shunning what he calls investment in capital-intensive infrastructure that has blocked people from getting jobs. And of course talking about also the need for fairness in the coverage of this particular election and more that came forth, but I'll not take it all away. I have a panel of two gentlemen who have been with me in studio. Maina Karobia, he is the national chairman of the Youth for Ruto 2022 and a political strategist, and Dr. Churchill Sauke, a lecturer and a political and governance expert. Gentlemen, let me start with you, Karobia, deliberately, because before we went to Bomas, I was just putting you on the spot to tell me what you think the mood is.
Yes.
But You can already tell. Just tell me a bit about how you feel about Deputy President William Ruto's green light to vie for the 2022 presidential race.
I think from his message, his statement, I can read somebody who is who now breathes a sigh of relief based on the kind of utterances that were given before, that he might not be cleared to be a presidential candidate. He has breathed a sigh of relief. He has been cleared by IEBC. The other thing is that his message, particularly to the young people of our nation, is inspirational. He is giving hope to them. I think from his statements, just outside from the statement he made inside Bomas when he was in the presence of Chebukati, he specifically talked to the youth of our nation. So that tells you that he will be going forward. The youth are going to form a major component of his campaign messaging. Inspiration and hope is going to be part of his messaging. The other thing is all about his economic agenda. Remember, he says that he is a man on a mission. He has emphasized on the need of shifting from the capital-intensive projects, and the capital-intensive projects comes from the roads, all those things. Like the Ruto gun factory that was constructed the other month. That tells you that he is now going to shift. His presidency is going to shift from that level of development to the labor-intensive, where we not only look at development from the point of the hardware, but rather the software, where we now talk about the technological advancement. We talk about developing the skills and people getting a chance to be economically involved based on their skills and their talents, so that we can have people getting money and having decent livelihoods.
All right.
Yes.
Churchill, your take on DP getting that highly coveted certificate by all presidential aspirants, and also how he sees the moment, just to talk to his supporters and also assure IEBC of their confidence. What's your feeling about this whole process, how it has panned out?
I think this was expected, in my opinion, because by the time considering the stature, his stature, and the stature of the kind of political influence he has, it was expected that by the time he is coming into Bomas of Kenya, the prior processes had been done, and so his coming was just a mere formality. So for me, I expected that his clearance was going to be fast, just as it has happened. Of course, he has used that opportunity to talk about different issues, talk about his enemies, and some of the things that he feels are not being done right. Like they talked about hit out the media, and politicians do their politics. They know how to do their politics, and one of the ways in which they do their politics is by putting their battles in public. So I think one of the things that he's trying to put the media is trying to put the media in what I will call he's trying to put the media on defense, so that the media begins to up their game and cover them as much as they're covering the competitors. So I think that is what he was trying to achieve by trying to say that the media has been skewed in their coverage of him. Of course, he's also had a spat on what he's calling the system, and that is also equally the same strategy that he's trying to use, and the impact of that is something that we will see as to whether it will make those agencies conform. The media and those are what he's calling the system adhere to what he thinks should be right. The interesting part is how he has been able to use that opportunity to speak to the public about his agenda. He's brought it out soberly so that people can listen, and he took it up to speak about it himself, because I think he did not want to trust. It was a more formalized platform, which the media that he was hitting are there, So,
Yeah,
from his perspective is that, that is an opportunity that he has free airtime.
Yeah.
That, today, even if he will not be given the much airtime that he is always given other days, today is his day. So he has taken advantage of it and spoken the much that he could have spoken, and in terms of the things that he wanted to do. And the things about economics that we are really emphasizing are good. My hope is that also we can look at how the questions about economic liberation can intertwine with aspects of equality.
All right.
And just creating a society that is, everybody can be able to achieve whatever he wants if he has what it takes.
All right. Unfortunately, that's all the time we had for this particular conversation. As part of your final words, I'll begin with you, Churchill, and then Karobia. I know it's a busy day for Kenya Kwanza. You can finish on that point, like what's next for Kenya Kwanza. But Churchill, what next for these candidates now after being cleared? What is the road ahead looking like as your closing remark?
I think the road ahead for them is now to go into the ground and begin to influence the voters to accept their policies and adopt their policies so that they can be able to go to get voted. We expect rigorous campaigns, and now we're going to have, I think the next 2 months are going to be like a week or something. But this will be my word of advice to the people of Kenya and those who are in the political space, that Kenya is bigger than us. Politicians will come and go, but the nation will always stand. This is the moment for us to make very sober choices for the best interest of the future generation.
Thank you, Churchill. Karobia, very few seconds.
What I expect is that we are going to have an issue-based conversation. On the ballot this year is the issue of the prospects of our economy. So we expect a robust conversation. The presidential debates, the manifesto selling, and also the general political campaigns. Let the economy form the basis of our campaigns.
Okay.
So as for Kenya Kwanza, we are a peaceful fraternity. We are going to present our campaign platform to the people so that they can make informed and deliberate, objective choices once the ballot is presented to us in August 9th.
All right, thank you so much. Maina Karobia, the National Chair, Youth for Ruto 2022. Also, Dr. Churchill Saoke, a lecturer and a political and governance expert, having a sit down with me this morning on a day that saw DP William Ruto being cleared by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Set to appear before IEBC is Right Honorable Raila Odinga, Dr. Ekuru Aukot, George Munyota, that's tomorrow on Monday. Honorable Jimmy Wanjigi, Muthiora Kariara, and Njeru Kadhangu will be appearing before IEBC before it closes this process of clearing presidential aspirants. Now from Bomas, we are going to see the Kenya Kwanza Alliance traverse different parts of Nairobi for several rallies at several stopovers, but finally they are going to be having a mega rally at Kamukunji grounds later in the day in what they call Painting Nairobi Yellow. Of course, we're going to cover this for you as well. So do keep it KBC Channel 1, and thank you so much for watching. That is how we wrap it up. My name is Safina Cheng Oma, and of course we have a lot still lined up for you in our day's coverage. Keep it Channel 1.
Live on location with Saturday Night Show. We're gonna make it a night to remember. Kosa Uche.
Otherwise, I will destroy you, your life. Who's your uncle? Is that what your mother told you? Open your mouth.
Here and there.
Yani this is how you are thanking me, eh? Kweli wewe na Fuda hakuna hata tofauti.
Do you know how to play your cards? Sema kuchitetea.
What is so big with the word mysterious?
I did not tell them. That is a very small one, by the way.
Kamene, I usually admire your English.
Okay, exposure is a good thing.
Kamene, okay, look at Julia. You see those little colored strings and materials on her hair?
Oh,
now, look at my hair. Do you see such?
Kiswahili gani sasa pala? Ile marimu.
Tembea, tembea, tembea nami, tembea Yesu, tembea, tembea nami.
Nimerudi, nimekumbuka upendo wako. Kwa Yesu tunang'ara, kwa Yesu tunang'ara, kwa Yesu tunang'ara, kwa Yesu tunang'ara.
Yes, man.